Live 5 Investigates has obtained documents from the police and the Charleston County School District that show an employee was caught with child pornography on his school laptop. But he was neither placed on leave nor fired while police investigated. And while that investigation was going on, detectives say he sexually assaulted 2 students. For months, our Carter Coyle has been uncovering documents and investigating how the Charleston County School District handled this case. Carter, it first happened in 2014. That was several years ago. Why are we just now hearing about it?
Well, Bill, although the school district denied any wrongdoing, CCSD just settled with one alleged victim this year. So that's how I first heard about it. They settled with an elementary school student. In April, I asked for a copy of the suspect's personnel file. It's taken several months, a lot of pushing for our attorneys, but the district finally gave me these public records. They show the employee not only kept working for the district after child pornography was found on his school-issued computer, but was also given a higher-paying job.
You have no idea the inner turmoil that I have suffered. You have no idea.
In order to protect this mother and her child's identity, we can't show you her face, but she's remembering when her child told her about being molested at school. What went through your mind when your child said that?
Shock, disgust, lots of anger, but concern for my child. That's a lot to put on a child.
Police reports show 2 assaults happened at Dunston Elementary in North Charleston in 2015. The children came forward the next year.
Charleston County school employees facing charges.
In January 2016, Marvin Gethers, a parent advocate working for the school, was arrested for having child pornography on his district-issued laptop.
I am absolutely stunned and shocked and scared. My son went to the Stingrays game with him Sunday. He brought my son home.
Then, over the next few days, 2 different children came forward telling police Gethers touched them inappropriately at school the year before. One also said he took nude pictures of him in the school bathroom. Gethers was rearrested and charged with those crimes, too. But I found out that the district first discovered the child pornography on Marvin Gethers' laptop 2 years earlier, in 2014. The victim's mother had no idea.
As far as I know, after it was discovered, it was immediate arrest. There was no coming back from that. Actually, it didn't come to light until the arrest.
No, ma'am. The school district knew in 2014 when they first found that child pornography that it was his computer, and he was listed as a suspect on the police file 2 years before he was arrested.
I was not aware of that. I was not aware of that at all. Like that? Wow.
According to an affidavit in January 2014, a CCSD IT specialist was performing a routine virus scan on Marvin Gethers' district-issued laptop and observed that pornographic websites had been accessed, including websites featuring child pornography. Police say the laptop was secured and 37 days later turned over to police, who sent it for a forensic analysis. That analysis took nearly 2 years, and in the meantime, our investigation shows Gethers was still working at the elementary school. It was during that time he allegedly molested the 2 children.
My child would have been safe. This whole situation could have been avoided. That's horrible. That is very, very horrible.
We also got a copy of the police detective's file where 2 witnesses said after the pornography was first found in 2014, Gethers was sent home at first, but it's unclear for how long. The principal wrote he was back after a week. A police officer said it was after a month. Gethers himself wrote this letter to the district after his computer was seized, begging for a second chance and apologizing for what he said was only adult material. But the district originally got police involved because they found child pornography. Gethers was allowed back to work. Should he have been placed on leave or fired immediately?
In retrospect, probably so.
School board member Michael Miller doesn't remember this case coming before the board in 2014, but has concerns with how it was handled.
To secure student safety first, even if it is an allegation, I think immediate suspension is warranted, in my opinion.
Do you agree that most parents would expect that?
I would think so. I'm a parent of a 5th grader. That's something that I would expect as well. And maybe we need to tighten this policy.
After 4 months of waiting on a public records request from CCSD, we got a copy of Marvin Gethers' personnel file. In it, this job offer letter dated October 2014. He was promoted from being a student concern specialist to a parent advocate at Dunston, making $55,000 a year. The district was extremely pleased to extend this offer, again 10 months after the porn was found. Fast forward to 2016, that forensic report on the computer came back and Gethers was arrested and fired. Marvin Gethers cannot give us his side of the story. He pled not guilty in court, but the coroner tells us he died of heart failure before the case went to trial, so he was never convicted. His attorneys do tell us they were prepared to defend these charges and clear his name before he died. Superintendent Jarita Postlethwaite was not the head of the district at that time, but says she would have handled it differently.
My practice is to immediately place someone on administrative leave when pornography on a computer or in any other form is involved. I can't speak to what someone else might or might not have done. It boggles the mind to think that that would not have happened.
CCSD says they can't tell us who made the decision 4 years ago to let Gethers keep working while he was under investigation. They said in a statement the district administrators who managed this incident are no longer employed with CCSD. There's no other information that would provide an explanation to your questions.
Words can't even describe the moral decay. If you don't do anything else, take your child's side.
When people are involved, when children are involved, we don't have 2 times to get it right. And if we didn't get it right the first time, we have to own that. We have to own that. Our system has to own that.
There are still a lot of questions here, and we're still working to get answers. School board member Michael Miller plans to possibly propose a policy change that clearly spells out how the district should handle an employee if illegal materials are found on their district computer. And y'all, I know for parents watching this, it's a lot to take in. It's hard to hear. We want to help you have these difficult conversations with your kids.
So, Carter, next Tuesday, we'll have another story showing you how to talk to your kids and reduce the risk of sexual abuse. In the meantime, folks, we have a link on our website, live5news.com, to lots of resources from the D. Norton Child Advocacy Center. Also, if you have more questions about this story, or if you want to know more about how these events played out, we have an interactive timeline on our website, live5news.com. There you'll be able to see documents we collected and everything that happened throughout this investigation. Carter Coyle, thank you. But first, a major development tonight, 1 week after a Live 5 investigation first aired. Last week, we told you Charleston County Schools did not fire or suspend an elementary school employee while he was under investigation for child pornography. Tonight, state lawmakers want to take action. Carter Coyle has been investigating this case for months.
State lawmakers here in Charleston want to form a legislative hearing and investigate the decisions that Charleston educators made in the Marvin Gethers case. After fighting for school records and scouring police files, I found out Gethers was not fired or suspended after the district itself reported him to the police for possible child pornography.
It made me angry, it made me sick to my stomach, and it made me aware of the fact that there is a major issue here and a major disconnect if the Charleston County School District that knew about this issue didn't take action immediately.
State Representative Peter McCoy says after seeing our story, he talked to several legislators who are also concerned with how CCSD handled the Gethers case.
And as chairman of the Charleston delegation, we're going to take a look at this. We're going to sit down. There could even be a scenario where we call some folks in and have them testify under oath in front of us. But this is not something that we take lightly. It's not something that we wait around for.
His goal is to form a committee of state lawmakers to hold a hearing and issue legal subpoenas to anyone who has knowledge of how the district handled the case. In 2016, police charged Gethers with having child pornography on his school laptop. But we found out the district found the illegal material 2 years before and even reported it to police, but continued to let Gethers work at Dunston Elementary in North Charleston while he was under investigation. Police records show this 2014 letter from Gethers apologizing to CCSD.
That should be a stop the press moment. And this man is allowed to stay in the school district, employed by the school district. To me, it's a major, major flaw.
Later, 2 children came forward claiming Gethers molested them at school while the district was waiting for answers from police. Gethers was charged with those crimes too. He was never convicted and died last year. McCoy says his concern now is accountability in the district.
I want to know who knew. I want to know inside that school district who had actual knowledge of this. I want to know who had their hands on the letter that you've shown me, but yet promoted this man within the same year. I mean, I want to know their names and I want to know who they are.
New information tonight about our investigation of how the Charleston County School District handled an employee while he was under investigation for having child pornography on his school laptop. Carter Carl joins us now. And Carter, you've just learned the suspect was given an honor by the district while he was under investigation for this situation.
That's right. And we've just confirmed that Marvin Gethers was named the Classified Employee of the Year in 2015 for CCSD. That was a year after the district reported him to the police for possibly having illegal pornography on his computer, and a year before he was ultimately arrested and charged with multiple crimes, including criminal sexual conduct with 2 different students. The district also tells us as part of that Employee of the Year recognition, Gethers was given a district vehicle to use. And as we first reported, he was also promoted during this time to the position of parent advocate, and he remained at Dunston Elementary in North Charleston for 2 years while police investigated and waited on computer forensics.
That's a slap in the face to the future victims that came forward later when criminal charges were brought, and it's a slap in the face to the parents who trust their children to this school district to educate and make our children better people.
Also, we learned today the State Department of Education says Mr. Gethers was not a certified educator, so the state had no power to revoke any certifications from him during the investigation. But SCDE also said that this situation was not reported by CCSD to the State Board of Education. In a statement to us, SCDE said, if information shows that other certified educators acted unprofessionally in the handling of the circumstance in question, our agency can and will investigate and take action against them.
New information tonight. We have just learned the Charleston County School District is planning to hire an outside legal team to investigate the Marvin Gethers case. Gethers is a former CCSD employee who we found out continued to work at an elementary school for 2 years while he was under criminal investigation for child pornography. Now, this comes after a series of reports from our investigative reporter, Carter Coyle. Carter joins us now. Carter, bring us up to speed on this.
Well, Debbie, just in the last hour and a half, we got this updated statement from the district saying they will hire attorneys to investigate and respond to lingering questions from us and from the public.
Most of us who are parents, we are frustrated, we are infuriated, and we want something done immediately.
Tuesday, parents and citizens with the Charleston Activist Network stood outside CCSD headquarters responding to our investigation about Marvin Gethers. The parent advocate was arrested for child porn and alleged molestation in 2016. That was nearly 2 years after the district reported him to police for possible child porn on his school computer. In the meantime, Gethers was allowed to continue working at Dunston Elementary, was promoted and named Classified Employee of the Year for the district in 2015.
We want to make sure that somebody or people are held accountable for this large oversight. We want to make sure that these people never enter the field of education again.
In multiple statements, CCSD maintained the people who were calling the shots for this incident back then no longer work in the district.
And still to this day, we still can't find out who was involved. And no one's taking responsibility and saying we dropped the ball on this one.
Now CCSD says it's contracted with an independent legal firm to fully investigate this matter and attempt to respond to lingering questions. Local lawmakers I've talked to are also planning to form a committee to hold their own investigation and a legislative hearing.
We want these investigations to be public so everyone can see really who knew when and how this happened in our community.
3 school board members I've talked to said they were never told of the Gethers case in 2014. The superintendent at the time was Dr. Nancy McGinley. We are still investigating exactly who knew what when.
So frightening. Thank you so much, Carter. If you want to know more about Carter's investigation, you can find the whole story on live5news.com. You'll find an interactive timeline as well as response from local lawmakers. You can also watch Carter's series of reports on Live 5 Roku app.
Major updates tonight in the Live 5 investigation that our Carter Coyle has been working on for months.
In the first Charleston County School Board meeting since our stories aired, several board members addressed the case of Marvin Gethers. He was a parent advocate at Dunston Elementary who was arrested back in 2016. The district found child pornography on a school laptop a couple of years before that.
And we found out he was allowed to continue working in the school for 2 years after the district reported him to police. Gethers was also later charged with allegedly molesting 2 students.
Now, as Carter shows us, the public is demanding answers and the superintendent is promising to get them.
It is our intent to make sure the public knows what went wrong, how it went wrong, with whom, or the positions at least, that were in place.
Monday's CCSD board meeting started and ended with the board addressing the public's concerns about Marvin Gethers.
All 9 of us, without exception, are horrified by what's happened here.
Gethers died last year, but our recent Live 5 investigation prompted serious questions about how the district handled that incident.
There's less trust for the board by the community.
Parents and activists lined up during public comment. One woman said students at Dunston, a low-income minority school, were especially vulnerable.
They deserve to be treated in the same manner as any other students. I'm willing to bet this situation as it played out would never have happened at Mount Pleasant schools.
Several state legislators tell me they will investigate why Gethers was not fired sooner, and the State Board of Education may get involved too.
We'll cooperate with the investigations so that justice will be done.
CCSD confirmed they've hired Wilbur Johnson at the Young Clement Rivers law firm to investigate for the district.
How much editorial license does the board have over this firm with respect to the final report?
I'm not happy with the investigation pathway. We're using a cookie-cutter firm that we normally use within the district.
Postal Waite wasn't the superintendent in 2014 and says they're still trying to find answers to lingering questions.
A lot of the people who are involved in decision-making roles are no longer employed with the district, and we can find no record of the matter going to the board, either in executive session or in public session.
In Charleston, for Live 5 Investigates, I'm Carter Coyle.
Gethers was sent home for a short time after the district found the porn on his laptop, but for reasons still unknown, he was allowed back to work while police investigated and later promoted and named an Employee of the Year for the district in 2015. His attorneys and family tell us they still believe he was not guilty.
And Mr. Gethers does some unbelievable things for kids and with kids.
April 2015, parent advocate Marvin Gethers was recognized as Classified Employee of the Year at CCSD night at a River Dogs game.
Starting on July 1, you're going to be driving around a different car. He's got $1,000 of professional development money, and he's got a new iPad that he's going to figure out how to use here in a little bit.
The award and prizes come more than a year after CCSD found child pornography on Gethers' school laptop and turned the computer over to the North Charleston Police to investigate. All of our stories involving Gethers unraveled out of one document I found months ago in Charleston County court records. This $300,000 settlement with an 11-year-old child who told police he was molested by Gethers at age 8. Police charged Gethers, who later died, and CCSD settled. So now the question is, what other situations has the school district settled over the years? On March 30th, we asked CCSD for a list of settlements over the last 5 years. Other school districts provided it. Charleston County Schools did not. South Carolina's Freedom of Information Act allowed the district 20 business days to acknowledge my request and then 35 days to produce the records. They acknowledged it after 41 days, saying it was in progress, but never produced the records. It's now been 148 business days, more than 7 months since we made our request.
It's sad on our part that we're not fulfilling our obligation to the public.
School board member Michael Miller says the delay is inexcusable.
I'm not happy with the fact that it's taken you this long to get the information that you're requesting. I'd have to apologize.
Miller says the board used to get frequent updates about potential lawsuits and settlements.
Those cases stopped coming to us. And of course, it caused me to pause and be concerned. Were those suits being settled without the board?
It's hard to tell since we haven't received the settlements yet. I repeatedly emailed and called about the request. Our attorney sent a letter to CCSD in July and called General Counsel Natalie Ham, but we didn't get a response. We sent another letter last week alerting the school district we'd be airing this story and legal action may follow. Ham finally responded saying they will turn over the records by November 8th. Quote, "My apologies as this got held up in my office. Every time I went to work on it, I got pulled away. It eventually got buried on my desk." We aren't the only citizens having trouble getting records under FOIA from CCSD. A law firm recently sued the district for not turning over video of a boy allegedly being attacked at school. At this FOIA hearing, the judge was not pleased to hear the district deleted those videos that could have been evidence in a lawsuit. The judge called it grossly negligent. CCSD wouldn't comment.
We must have community trust, and we must be able to conduct our business in transparent ways. If we don't have that, then what do we really have?
In Charleston, Carter Coyle, Live 5 News.